I'm live. Is Gemma live? Oh my god, you're doubly live now. Oh, I'm live. Oh my god, we have a super overlap from something. Oh my god, we're having a wonderful time because I don't think anyone can hear you and my audio is for craft. And I'm getting like a secondary I somewhere in my computer have our own broadcast open unless it's coming out of yours. So forgive me people, I'm the worst. And thusly I have to find what is making noise, which nothing knows what the answer is to that at all. All right, hold on. No, there's definitely. Holy crap! I'm sorry, everyone. I'm the worst. Who can hear who? Can anyone hear Gemma? Gemma inaudible as is tradition. Gemma's okay. Cool. Okay, so hold on. But then my desktop audio now contains a duplicate of my own audio somehow, and I don't know how or why. Right, because somewhere on my computer something. Oh, you. Hold. I know what it is. Hold on. Let me find. There we go. All right, hold on. No, not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Because I'm still the worst. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. How is. Alright, I'm just going to close literally every window. I don't care anymore. Every window is getting closed because I'm tired of this. It might. How about now? Okay, they can't hear. Okay, my duplicate is done. Yeah, I see what I did. I'm stupid as hell. I'm sorry, everyone. I am the dumbest man that there's ever been. And then Gemma's output is going to go to the right place, and then you'll be able to hear Gemma in 1 second. Forgive me for my awfulness. Here's Gemma. Here's desktop Gemma. Here's me no longer listening to NDI. Everyone can probably hear Gemma now. Say something, Gemma, so everyone can hear you. All right, and hopefully we get the nice positive feedback of people saying, yes, we can hear Gemma. Nope, nope. People still saying nope. Oh, because... Oh my god. Everything is stupid. No, that's why. Okay, no, never mind. I am the stupid one.
Oh,
Now
I
you should be
see.
able to
So
hear
they grew
Gemma.
it not in Scotland, but the raspberries come from Scotland. Didn't realize that really bigger that Scotland grew many raspberries.
Does that work?
Hello, can people hear me now?
There we go. Okay, cool. People can hear you now. And I can hear you now. And everything seems pretty good.
Yay. Scotland raspberry. Yeah, it's really delicious actually. I was not holding out much hope when I pulled it out of the back of the cupboards. Today I've been doing a lot of tidying
Okay, that's
and it's not gone very well. I'm at
why. Oh
that
my
stage of
god.
tidying where like I've got like so many bin bags full of rubbish that I don't need anymore.
Gemma's
But
so
it
close to the
feels
mic,
like
please.
it feels like there's more things in my house than when I started, even though that can't be true because there's been net amount of things moving. And also, I'm not wearing any makeup because I thought that I would reduce my makeup collection, which seemed really smart this morning when a bit more beautiful. But now I don't have the products that I normally use because I was like, no, just throw it all away. So yeah, that was my day today.
Why can't I scroll with my mouse wheel anymore? Discord has just given up on this.
Oh, thank you, Index. That's very sweet.
Not
But
really.
I
Oh,
do have these horrible shadows
Dave's
under
gonna
your
fight.
eyes that you get from being a mahjong player.
I have a lot of stuff. It's true. It's true.
But
Stream
yeah,
clever game.
I'm just at the stage where nothing's gone better. And I ordered this new IKEA wardrobe because my wardrobe collapsed months ago now, and I've just been using like a clothes rail. So I was like, no, no, New Year 2023, I deserve a wardrobe. I'm the sort of person who deserves a wardrobe.
John Kenner, look at me, and then there should be
Sure, the
mahjong.
solution to that. Yeah, yeah. First, well, the thing is, yeah, I guess you're true. I guess that's a good point. I mean, I haven't been restocking much anyway because cost of living, everything costs a lot more. Exactly, right. This is what happens when you play mahjong. It's the harrowed look of the mahjong player. Um, yeah, Happy New Year. I guess this is our first Happy New Year.
Yeah, it is. It is. I don't think it's the first, but Happy New Year to everyone. It's our first stream past the New Year.
Yeah,
Um,
because we missed Christmas.
I don't believe in the floor. For the record, it's not the floor pile. It's the big shelf. The
Oh,
floor is the
okay.
big shelf, and a shelf
Oh,
is fine for storing things on.
see, I call it the transitionary area, and I convinced myself it's only there temporarily.
No, no, no. It lives there. It is what it is. But it is the big shelf. That's what I always think. Just put it on the big shelf. It's fine. Store everything on the big shelf.
Maybe this is why we're not like very good at mahjong anymore.
This. Hey. I got two Yakuman this Armel season, and we all
Right,
know that
right.
Yakuman are the only measure of mahjong skill, and so obviously I
Okay.
have a lot of skill. That's how it works.
Talk to me about Armor. Is it done? Is the season done?
The season ended.
Right.
Um,
When did it end?
it ended a couple weeks ago, actually. I think the last games. I
Okay.
forget when the last games were. The winter season. I believe the winter season. The fall season ended. I think the winter season's going now. I
Okay.
forget the exact date. The standings have all been wiped.
So have you been promoted up a league, or are you
So
still?
I was promoted. I was part of the
Oh,
promotion from B3
congratulations.
to B2. Although, like, I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Why?
Um, Mostly because everyone, basically, enough people were moving in and out of the league that everyone in B3 who was positive pretty much got promoted. It was like 17 promotion slots out of a 30-person league. So like, and at the end of the day, I actually don't believe I was high and I was within the top 7. I don't recall. I
Mm.
think I might have been 8 because I might have been 8 or 9 or something. But like, it was very strange. The last sessions of that league, like I was number 3 or 4 going into the last sessions of that league, if I recall properly. And then in the last sessions, basically it was just absolute madness. And all the
Mm.
players who were already doing well we're all getting like top 100 sessions or plus 100 sessions, I should say. Um, and it was because basically that was the moment at which everyone like looked at their standings, and then everyone who was in low standings was just like, I don't know, man, and like they played like crazies. And
Yeah,
I had
so if you play in the Japanese professional league, they stop that by sitting you with players around you in the standings as you get towards the end of the league.
I had the intense discomfort of that, actually. I had the intense discomfort of having a session. I think my second class session was with all players right on the borderline.
Mm.
And then I think the last session was a little more mixed, and I got some plus out of that a little bit. But like, yeah, the second to last session, it was really tense because everyone was really, really careful. No one was just like, I don't care anymore. And everyone was really hungry to like make something happen, which is like a very rough game situation. Bless you. Double bless you.
It's the dust from all
Um,
the turned up.
what do you mean?
Is that?
Is what? I'm sorry. Is what only for lower ranked players? Oh, at Gemma. Oh, is the seating things?
Oh no. So I mean, you're seeded into the league. So I don't even know how many leagues there are. I think they go. It's A1, A2, B1, B2, C through to 3, D through to 3, and then E League. But then you're in that, and then they wouldn't sit the top player with the bottom player, for example,
Right. Right.
because it just creates too much of an imbalance because the top player is playing defensively, whereas the bottom player needs to get out of bottom so they're not demoted and they're playing like a crazy. Yeah, I think there's, there is questions about whether that's fair to sort of but people know what's being done, so I guess it is fair. You know what you're getting
Yeah,
into.
the schedules were mostly made up ahead of time, I
Yeah.
believe. So like, it's not like it was totally unknown. And I
Yeah,
mean, the
so
thing that I
so in
actually,
so for the professional leagues, you go and you find out on the day who you're sat with.
so like you can't plan it out.
Yeah, basically.
Mm.
And then I
I,
mean that's impossible maybe for you guys because you're sort of coping with these time zone problems.
yeah, like I didn't find that it was problematic that people knew the matches ahead of time. I didn't feel like people
Mm.
were like sniping or like attempting to do something tricky or something like that. I think like I don't know. I think there's a lot of challenges. There's some challenges with the format, but to some degree, to make the format work in the way that it is, those things are like unavoidable. And I wanna be clear that like it's a hard thing to do, and I give a lot of credit to the folks who run Armel for running it. One of the things that I also found challenging was like in one of my games, someone didn't show up, and so that player was
Mhm.
replaced by a sub, which is good. I'm glad sub available.
Yeah.
Thumbs up. Good organization again. Total credit.
Yeah.
But the
Well,
problem
why
is,
did the person not turn up?
they made a mistake on their timings. They thought the game was a different day. Like it was a human mistake. They apologized
Mm.
again. No,
Fair
I have
enough.
no
Fair
shade
enough.
to throw at this person. They made a mistake. We all make mistakes. A sub was available. Good organization. That all worked. But the sub was like a very skilled player.
Mm.
And so now, and again, you get the sub. You get like again. What am I supposed to say? You're supposed to have subs of all skill levels available. You can't do that. That's not possible. But like, it was a tough situation because now I'm in a game with a very skilled player in it that wasn't necessarily going to be in it. Um, and so you manage that. Like it's tricky. It's
Mm.
tricky. So like I
Yeah,
think
and
that.
again, like in professional leagues, you don't have a sub; you just have buys.
Oh really? You just
Like,
get a buy.
yeah,
But again,
yeah,
in pro league, it's like you're supposed to physically show up,
yes, yes, exactly. So
right?
they can just shuffle things around. I mean, I'm not throwing shade at Armor. I'm just telling you
No,
what
these are
happens.
just the
Because
challenges. Yeah.
yeah, they're aping JPML's league system. JPML league system is fundamentally different because you have to turn up in person. So they've created ways around the problem that they are operating online. I hate running anything online, by the way. I hate it. It's the
Yeah.
worst. It's much better when everyone turns up. I can see them all in the
You're
room
big.
and I know what I'm dealing with. Online, I hate it.
Tsumagiri. Yeah, and the problem with that, Carol, is that like a Tsumagiri bot is also a weird advantage to the player who sits
Hmm.
to their right.
Yeah.
And to the game itself. When you know there's a Tsumagiri bot in the game, it's like, okay, well I can wait on anything because I get double the draws because Tsumagiri bot will just like do
Yeah.
whatever. Like it's I don't know. Again, this is a problem there's no good solution to. It's not like there's an obvious answer that people should be doing. It's hard. And again, I appreciate people's time being a sub, being available. Like all these things are important. What I'm curious, what does JPML do if I'm sick? Like if I know I am ill, I'm not going to be there next week. Like, and I can tell them. It's not like I don't show. Is there
So
do things get
you will
rearranged?
you will still get a penalty. You just missed that session.
Oh, really? You get a penalty for
So
missing any session for any reason.
yes, well, you get a lesser penalty if you inform them and you're sick.
What if I get hit by
Um,
a car?
yeah, they don't. It's not seen as a punishment. It's seen as a rebalancing. And this is the same thing I was saying
Okay.
on Discord and with Chombos. Chombo is not necessarily a punishment for doing something wrong. Something has happened in the game, and it has to be rebalanced.
Hmm.
And obviously it's there to deter people for doing it on purpose.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I had to skip several league sessions when I was trying to set up the 2017 event or 2014 event. And yeah, I just had to take the hit, even though I was
Hmm.
going to do the work of Marshall.
Tactical jump. Tactical
So
jump is
I
poor
don't know.
strategy.
It's not seen. These things are
Okay.
just things that happen. It's not. So if you didn't inform them and you just didn't show up on the day, then you'd get a really hot. That would be considered a punishment
Right.
penalty, right?
You literally just bailed on them.
Yeah, if you just didn't turn up, which Garth did several times, I'd like to point out.
What, Garth? Why? How?
He wouldn't have been hungover anyway. So then that's a punishment penalty, right? Because you haven't informed them, they don't know where you are, they don't know where to wait for. So you get a punishment. So, but the for being sick, informing them, they're much smaller penalties. But
Hmm.
again, I said you don't know who you're playing with until you go there. Then they work out how many people they've got. They sit you down in a reasonable system, and then rather than having subs sit in, they'll make it so there's tables of fives with buys involved.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, that does. I guess that's true. Like if you don't make it, and I also think at the end of the day, or at least the way I feel about it, or the way my impression, I should say, my impression of it has been that JVM League is like almost more relaxed. Like you do it, it's important. It's important to compete, but it's
Mm.
like I don't know. It just seems like a less urgent thing.
I don't know. I mean, that's your constant, right? Everyone has to participate in that every session, no matter what. If
Hmm.
you're a professional, unless you've been given a special leave, if you're on maternity leave or you're a gemmer, you don't
Ooh.
have to rock up anymore. But then there's the other sort of that's your basic, and that's where you really get your hardcore training. That's where you really start to get your skill levels up. And then the exhibition tournaments, which are the shorter ones, are the ones that yeah are a bit more kind of flary.
Well, that's what I think is really interesting because I feel like people played, and this is also because of what people are used to. I feel like people play the league like it's a tournament.
Yeah, and that's a problem for us, I guess. Yeah.
And that's because people are used to playing. I mean, they're used to playing tournaments. They're not used to this like long term we play and play and play and play. And then one of the other thing that I feel like is something I want to bring into this world, into like the Western mahjong world a little bit, is I feel like the other half, when at least again in my impression, in what I've seen, is
Mm.
we play and play and play and play, we review and review and review and review.
Mm.
And that's the part that I think isn't really formalized right now. Again, this is not throwing shade at anyone or saying, but it's something I want to make happen. Is I want that other half of the cycle where, like, in addition to playing a lot, we all then sit down and say, okay, here's what happened, here's what we do, here's what we did right, here's what we did wrong, stuff like that. Speaking of that, we might want to poke out.
So I was just going to pop. Kirel made a point about the, if the problem is if you have a bar, you don't get. So it's a table of 5, right? And you're playing 4 games usually, 4 games that day, and so you're only out for one of those games. And I think there's another difference here in that, and this might be a cultural difference, is that they're not as individualistic, right? To sit there and watch just for one game, it's not. Oh, I've been denied my game to play. Like you're part of a group, an organ. You're like a Portuguese man of war, mahjong Portuguese man of war. But you're part of an organization, right? And you just do things naturally to make the organization run smoother, and you don't question it. I can't explain it.
I actually really like that for what it does for people.
Yeah, it's back to the why is Japan so much cleaner and tidier? Because they just pick up their crap. We can do that here, guys. We can be clean and tidy here, but there's no sort of cultural sort of, I'm inconveniencing other people if I just leave my crap here.
Well, I don't actually mean about the community. I mean about the watching.
Oh, about the watching.
Yeah, like I mean, being communal and thinking of other people is also great. Let's do that. It is smart to care about other people. But again, one of the things I found very remarkable on the crash courses, actually specifically, was that many of some of our instructors, when looking at people's hands and talking about what you might want to do with them, could easily rattle off several other players in their group, in their circle, and be like, oh, they'd probably do this. They'd probably do that. They'd probably do that other thing. And how do they learn that? They learn that from watching.
I mean, if you go to a strategy session, most people are just standing around the table watching 4 people play.
Yeah. And I think that's
they're not getting their hands dirty. But I think again, that's another problem, is that in Japan you've got so many opportunities to play constantly, right? Yeah. You can play every evening after work, no problem. Whereas for the Westerners, you might only be able to play once a month with real tiles with your friends. You don't want to stand there. I get it, Yeah,
no one wants to sit around at the one meetup they get, the few hours they get, like standing around being like, oh, I'll watch. Like, it's not that fun. You're not in the mix. But I think overall for learning, in terms of like learning and engagement, spending a game watching is very educational. It helps you understand what people are doing and thinking. It helps you see other ideas you might not have thought of. Like, there's actual value in that.
And you see the things you can't in a review, right? A review is just click, click, click. Whereas you can see someone pause or hesitate. You can even see where their eyes glance.
Yeah.
How their body reacts to certain things happening on the table.
And I think that helps with like camaraderie too. It helps you. You know each other. You know how each other. I mean, this makes me think of me and my friends, because we've been playing since 2006, and we all sit down and we've all sat down together for hours and hours and hours and hours playing, and we just know each other. Like we can just look at each other and be like, yeah, it's fun. So like building that with a group is really exciting, and I think it's something that's good to do. And I think in-person clubs help that in general, because you're all in the same place, but having people specifically tasked, like this game you're watching, is an interesting thing that I don't think people generally do.
Even Moriyama, who's like the top of the top, he just sits there and he watches nobody's play as well. He watches me. He watched me play once, and do you know what? He's normally really, really good, but I was making a Sanshoku, and I could feel him getting excited behind me. Like, I couldn't see him. I could just feel this energy building and building, and I won, and I barely turned over my tiles before he jumped up out of his seat, goes, "Run! She made a run! Sanshoku!" And I'm like, he's like, "That's the best Sanshoku." I'm like, Jesus Christ. So, but this was not in like a formal setting. This was kind of a strategy sort of, in more informal session. But he wouldn't do that in a tournament. But I mean, that man loves mahjong. You can say what you want about that man, but that man, he loves mahjong. And he's so passionate. And he'll watch you if he's watching your game. He is watching, giving you the full respect as any mahjong player, as any of the other professionals that he plays with. Like, yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's play out of 6 or 7 swap. That's actually an interesting thing
I
and
like
something
that. Yeah.
I've considered, because one of the key things in terms of teaching people how to get better at mahjong that I've really focused on is the idea of you need to think about something like, where am I and where am I going? And you need to get out of, and this is, I'm kind of diverting into another world of thinking about stuff. Like, you need to get out of having blinders on. I feel like I see a lot of people play like they have blinders on. They get their hand and they're like, it's a half flush, let's say. Surely no one has seen anyone play like this, right? They're like, it's a half flush. And they spend the rest of the game just being like, it is a half flush, until they either like call it out and somehow win, or deal into someone because it's a half flush. Damn it, that's what it is. And
I'm feeling very seen right now, Dave.
and I think like having people swap out, like if you walk into that hand in the middle, you might say, oh wait, it's actually Pinfu Itsu. Like Pinfu Itsu's happening here, and I could actually, get out of this hand with just as many points with Pinfu Itsu if I didn't have the blinders on. If I sat down with fresh eyes and look at this hand from a fresh perspective with no preconceptions, where am I and where am I going?
Yeah. So Index, out of interest. So when you swap, do you swap and then you just two people are playing and then they swap, or do you have someone who's watching kind of swap in and then you kind of discuss notes about where? That would be really interesting if the first 6 good discards was like, okay, swaps, and then afterwards they kind of like, well, I saw this on the initial deal, and then the person was like, well, this is what I saw. It'd be kind of interesting. That'd be a really interesting exercise.
Yeah, it's depending on how many people are available. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I think things like that are really cool, because the more people, and sometimes what you're going to see is like, yeah, I'm folding this. Like, this hand should be folded. That might be what you see also. And I think that having people, first of all, do that exercise, and second of all, explain. Yeah, what did you see? Where were you going? Why were you doing it? And just like surfacing that line of thought will help people really engage with it more and start to think.
So I have a question. I think there's 2 types of people in this world, though. When you're being watched, there's the people who, when they're being watched, are more aggressive, and then there's people who, when they're being watched, are more defensive. Right?
It's
like
hard.
Sometimes I feel like I'm the aggressive person.
It's hard because you want to look cool. I mean, everyone wants to look cool. Everyone wants to look good and smart. No one wants to make a big mistake when everyone's watching. That's embarrassing. But like, it is hard. I think it's a mentality. It's a mentality to build, is being kind of over it a little bit and being kind of chill about it a little bit. Question responsive at the end of it. Yeah, I think that's kind of a cool idea.
Also, Emily can participate in question response stuff at the end of a hand, where we can go over our concerns, what we thought. Yeah, I mean, I love that kind of stuff.
Things like that are great because it helps people learn, helps people think, and it's
making a Yakuman who knows what she's like making any other hand. Do you know what?
Yeah.
Making a Yakuman when you're teaching people how to play mahjong is the worst feeling in the world, and that's usually where I get my Yakuman.
I hate that. I hate when that happens, when I'm teaching and I'm like, oh look, it's like, it's a full flush Ipeko. Like, I'm just like, why are you happening to me? I'm not gonna not. It's terrible.
But you know what? I will say, like, if you're in like Japan leagues and they're doing a strategy session, they are not impressed by the sick Menzen Baiman. They're really not, because they know that when you get those kinds of hands, usually you're not in control, right? The tiles play themselves
like, it's just
at
happening.
That point. Yeah, you're like, obviously, yeah. But they're not impressed by that. They're impressed by the sort of, the jiggles around here, the sort of sneaky little pinfus that get you into first. Yeah.
Well, I'd say the skill that you're demonstrating, the skill that you're demonstrating is making good decisions. And you're right. Like, sometimes if you get a garbage pile of tiles, you are not going to make a good hand, but you can still make good decisions.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's going to be well regarded. Yeah, and it does require a little bit of like ego death, a little bit of just saying, like, look, I am going to play, and people are going to watch me, and some of them are going to think I'm doing dumb stuff, and some of them are going to think I'm doing smart stuff, and I just need to like relax and do my best and accept.
I think if you ever look at someone playing and you think they're doing dumb stuff, you're probably the dumb one.
It depends.
You should really be like, if someone's doing something that you think is really dumb, you should be just really considering, well, why are they doing it? Like, there must be a motivation. And that's where you get into like better mahjong play, when you're constantly thinking, well, why is this person doing this?
Yes, I think it's important to understand what, like, no one is just, well, maybe someone out there, but like sort of Tsumogiri bot, like no one is straight up just being like, I will randomly pick a tile and throw it on the table because I don't care. No one's like that. But oh
no, I think I got you back.
Well, round pick. Oh well, no, it's not really 7 pairs. You could score to 7. You could choose to score to 7 pair.
Isn't
um,
Mahjong basically about giving attention to patterns, and the patterns we choose to prefer determine how we play the game? I don't think that's true for Ricci. I think for some
hmm.
Mahjong, yes. For Ricci, no. I think Ricci are really playing other people, which is why Ricci Mahjong is the best Mahjong.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! That's a hot, opinionated take. I think you're right, but I think it's a segment of the game, and that segment of the game is more or less important in different styles of mahjong. I think that like in every style of mahjong, there are patterns you're trying to make in your hand. Yes, you're gonna keep or throw things based on what you think you're gonna do with those patterns, but that's like one aspect of the game. In, for example, I mean, in some of the Chinese styles where like it doesn't matter if you throw in or if someone else sumo, so you just don't care. Like, yeah, there's no defense. You're making your hand as fast and as effectively as you possibly can. You're just doing the pattern. But because of the fact that in Reach you have that payout, if someone, if you deal into someone, you pay the whole amount and it's real bad. Like, the defensive quality of the game is now not about patterns anymore.
Mm.
It's about understanding what other people are doing and thinking.
Yeah, so
And
Cloud
there are some
Dato,
patterns there too.
yeah, it says patterns. Yeah, there are patterns.
Yeah,
Suji.
there are patterns there too.
Mm.
Uh, but there's also the human factor. There's definitely a human factor in there. And that's where it gets interesting. Lacking that is one of the things that makes online play a little sad for me. Like, I don't. It just sucks to be alone. You're just sitting there by yourself, clicking on tiles, and it's like, oh,
Oh my God, Dave, I've had the worst online week of my life.
oh,
I,
what'd
I
you do?
so, I don't know. Like, I just lost. I lost. I
Oh
lost.
no.
Like last month, I was doing really well. I had so many winning streaks, and then this month, just lose all the way through.
Ew. I don't. For
And yeah, I
me,
just said it feels lonely. Like if I was
yeah,
losing in real life, I'd be like, oh well. I mean, first of all, I feel I just engage better in real life. Like my
yeah,
brain
yeah,
clicks in more.
yeah.
Like when my computer's there, the delivery man comes, or I just, you kind of half try to multitask, right? Even if you're
Clearly
trying not
true.
to. Yeah, your phone buzzes. But if I'm in real life, I can really sort of just lock in and really engage with the game and the people that I'm sat with, and I can't do that online. I just
I
can't.
just,
I don't know why.
I just feel again. This is all very personal opinion. This is in no way saying there's something bad about online play at all. Like, I just want to be super clear about that.
Mm.
For me personally, yeah, I agree. Like, being in person, I don't know. I'm just in it. Like,
Yeah, Cloudata, yeah, I think
you can't
yeah,
mopai
voice chat.
online, and
Yeah,
I do. Like in
yeah, and
person, like
there's that
there's
tactile
none of that.
nature
Yeah,
of
there's
it.
none of that
Yeah,
thing happening. There's no like getting
and
the
it
draw. It happens, but it's just not the
but
same.
it's funny, the American mahjong ladies, they are really interested in how mahjong helps protect you against things like Alzheimer's and dementia.
Hmm.
But the reason that it does protect you partly because of from Alzheimer's dementia is the tactile nature of it. It's a lot like knitting, right?
Hmm.
Because you're moving your hands and your brain is operating at the same time. It's that connection between your brain and your hands that gives this sort of protective nature against
Hmm.
dementia. And you're not going to get that online. Not the same way as
Not
building a
the same way.
wall,
Not the same way.
as say Mopai, just and it seems so simple and so basic, but that's how our bodies, that's how our brains are designed to work. They're not actually designed for computers at all.
And I don't know. I think I wonder. This again. This is wild hypothesis.
Mm.
I wonder if like. I mean, I agree, Rudler, and I think everyone's trying to be careful here in what we're saying, and that we're not saying like online play sucks and no one should play online. I don't think anyone believes that. It's fine. Like, it's cool if you enjoy online play. It's really great. I do feel like there's something about something like attitude wise almost, because if you play online, and again, maybe I'm just projecting my own personal experiences. You can sit here, like I can sit here and grind Tenho all day, right? I could sit here and do it again and again and again and again, click, 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 click. But like, and I'll learn something. I will definitely learn something from that. If I want to get really good at Tenho, I'm going to have to learn a lot of fundamentals. I'm going to have to be a solid player. Like, I'm not going to get to Ho. I don't think I've ever been in Ho, but I'm not going to get to Ho by being against Sumagiri about and not caring. Sure, that's absolutely true. But I wonder if there's not something that happens when we're around other people
Yeah.
that makes us like think of things as more social. Because I think one of the things that again, this is really opinion, but one of the things that I think hinders people from growing in mahjong is what I would think of as a single player attitude. It
Mm.
is the perspective on the game, and it's from their experiences where it's like, I'm here playing my hand, and these other hands might as well be bots. I don't really need to pay much attention to them,
Mm.
and I'm just playing my hand. And I think, and I'm and not only that, but I'm just going to go for the hand I want. because I don't really care that much if I win or lose because I'm in this soup of like infinite games and there's no human being who's winning and exulting in their winning. So it's just fine, win. Okay, anyway,
Yeah.
next. And like as long as I don't focus too much on the actual outcome of the game, I can just play each hand like it's candy and like I'm just like making it however I want. And to be fair, that's a fun exercise sometimes. But I think when you're around other people, it's hard you don't trivialize it as much. And so you start thinking a little more about it.
Yeah, and you have the calm down, you know, when you leave the table and you chat about what happened. Like, there's so much of your brain is engaged. So I'm glad, sorry, Donnie, I'm really glad that we've inspired you. Yeah, and Cloud Dad, yeah, voice chatting. Chiral, yeah, voice chat. I really did do better when I was streaming, funnily enough.
That's true. So do we want to take a look at a game?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, what do we want to go? We can grab from the Armel game selection.
Mahjong can help with other mental health. I think any, you know, and that's what I always say that Riichi Mahjong is more like a sort of collaborative competition. I think that Mahjong is you know, any sort of community, any sort of healthy competitive environment is going to help with anyone's mental sort of state of mind.
I was gonna say, I've always thought Riichi Mahjong only causes mental health issues, but
no, it causes those ones that we like to joke about, but aren't the ones that people really tackle.
No,
you know?
I don't think they
are. Yeah. It's you know, and it's a way that, like, say you feel a little bit kind of, you know, maybe we've got some lurkers here, people who don't feel so confident in the social environment. But if you come and play Mahjong, the rules of the engagement are already set out, right?
Yeah.
You pick up the tile, you drop the tile, and then you all smile and you laugh, and you don't have to worry that you're saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing. You just it's much easier, I think, sometimes to make friends and engage with strangers.
Yeah. It's a nice, like, structured environment, so you can all hang out together and you know what you're doing, and as long as you're playing Mahjong, like, you can't really, short of like screaming obscenities as people, please don't do that, but like you're not really gonna mess up too much.
No, so
just be chill.
My own personal story was when I left Taiwan and then I moved to Frankfurt, and I moved on my own. I moved for work. I had no idea. Knew no one in the city. I'd never been to Germany before. I knew no German, and I was sat in Frankfurt all on my own in this company apartment. And then someone online was like, "Oh, well, you play Mahjong, so why don't you go to this Mahjong event in the Netherlands? I think it was in Utrecht." And I was like, oh, "Okay, well, I could jump on a train. Like, this is the point of being on the continent, right?" So I jumped on a train. I went to Utrecht, and I went to my very first Mahjong competition. And it might have been Nijmegen, actually. I think it was more on the border. It was either might have been Nijmegen. Anyway, that's by the by. So, and then I get there, and I'm totally on my own. I'm sort of standing there, and then of course, you know, you get, oh, I've got to sit in this seat. And then I got to speak to a few people at the games, and then suddenly I was part of a community. So I'm glad it helped the Mahjong psychotherapy. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I'd have. And then suddenly, being in Frankfurt on my own was a hell of a lot easier because, of course, EMA was really starting to get going at that point. So I could attend basically every event that was happening in Europe at that point because it wasn't so many. But, you know, and then I'd get to see someone again, and then, you know, someone might be driving through Frankfurt because it's a bit of a hub, and they'd say hello to me, and then, suddenly I've got friends. So, yeah, I think it's easy sometimes when you've been in the community for a long time and you're stuck in the politics and you're stuck in the, you know, the not so nice aspects of being a big group of humans. We forget that, you know, there are those moments for people, and they come in and it's their first time, and then suddenly they found their people. That's really important.
Yeah. No,
I will be your people, guys. I will be your people.
Truly, it is your cross to bear. No. It's true. It's true. I remember running my first meetups and having that really interesting cross section of people show up, and you know, some of them are still around, which is great, and some of them I still get to talk to, which is great. It's been a really interesting time, and I think, yeah, there's value in that community, and I think it's great that a lot of people who come into the game playing online end up joining that community. I think that's really good. All right, let's take a look at the game. So I picked a very old game, so there's almost definitely not a game that's been covered in
New Year, new Sumo. I only just noticed your
New Year, new Tsu. No. Yeah, this is a good joke that I made. It's possibly the best joke. All right, so this is a very old game, so we'll go through this game. It probably has not, because I think last time we did a game that had been like covered fairly recently by people, and I don't want to step on anyone's toes.
The wall is everywhere. I can see all of the wall.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me turn off the wall.
And who are you, or is this just you're not on the table?
Oh no, this is not a game I was in. This is a different game. But we're gonna start with our dealer. So let's get to it. What do we see? What do we see here in our dealer's hand? Because I see Nothing that exciting.
Balls. That's what I see.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 Sanchoku, maybe. Maybe. Like the 3 is the Dora, so that's like an optimistic take. My optimistic take is 1, 2, 3 Sanchoku with 3 is a Dora, and the weight on the 6, 7 pin, and then it's Pinfu, Sanchoku, Dora.
Now, I'm a big fan of Sanshoku, even when
do.
it's really distant. But this one, if they're on the 1, 2, 3, and you're relying on those ones to come, you've got those ones. I don't feel
Pray
it.
for Itsu. Itsu maybe. Pin Itsu could happen. I would say it's much more likely this 7-man becomes like 6, 7, 7, 8 or something like that. Like
I think flat out, you're just gonna have to hope to get another East or White Dragon.
Maybe. Yeah, this is not a great start for East and East 1. It's a little unfortunate. Let's look at South. South has 2 Souths, so they can go running with it. They got 3, 3, 5, 6, 9, 9, 6. South have a lot of auspicious shapes here that could go somewhere, and if they really want to, they could just like rush this hand out by calling South.
I don't see why you'd rush that hand though, personally.
If you felt like you needed to sneak out from someone else, but like holding them's also great because no one else is going to care about South at all, so they're safe for you later as well.
I'm dealer now.
So yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. West. Ew.
That's even shittier.
Yeah, like the 3-4 is a good shape. The 4 gives you Dora acceptance for the 3 pin, so that's nice. Pair of 7s. Pair of North would be great if it was coupled with other awesome shapes as your like safe little pair. But right now it's not doing you any favors.
I'd be planning to fold that hand. If I didn't get anything that looked like a 3-4-5 or 2-3-4 Sanshoku, I'm folding that hand.
Oh, 2, 3. Oh, I see the Sanshoku there. Pardon me.
But I only think that works because the 3 pin is the Dora.
Yeah.
Otherwise I just wouldn't bother.
There's not much value.
So, no.
I'd say, in my opinion, when I see a hand like this, I feel like because of those 2 Norths, I can drive very aggressively towards like maximizing my options in the first row of discards and trying to pull in as much option as I can to see if something happens because I always have these 2 very solid safe tiles. But like we'll see. And this hand for North is Itsu potential here. They got 7, 8, 9 done. They got 7, 8. They got 1. Well, I think this is okay.
Well, they have that free pin Dora. That's going to be their problem here. But
Yeah.
I mean, depending on what they draw, the obvious discard is 1 man. I think this is an easier one. This is an easy one to handle.
So is a reason for South not to just rush and become dealer. So 50.
I'd want to see what the dealer was doing first. If you can make it fast enough that you can completely shut down the dealer, sure. But you're actually quite far here still.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like a lot of people get in their heads like, I gotta go. They play Sonic the Hedgehog Mahjong. They gotta go fast. They gotta go because they have this like panic that if they don't.
I can hear the music now in my head. That's awesome. I need that when I'm doing that.
Yeah, like they have this panic that if they don't like go no, like someone else is gonna have something good happen to them. Oh my god, it's like chill. You can chill. Like. It is true. If South had the opportunity right now to snap their fingers and say, I'm going to end the hand and become the dealer, they probably should do it. But what they might end up doing instead is rushing ahead by calling South. Someone else goes, oh no, they called South. I better run. And like, they don't win. Someone else wins 1,000 points. The game advances, I guess. But like, they've given up their opportunity to do something meaningful and decisive.
Yeah, or they could just throw into the dealer.
Yeah, or the dealer has an equally fast hand and they throw into the dealer because they're not like. You don't necessarily have to rush. South has the option, and that's kind of why I said it the way. They have the option to push.
So if I saw someone, for example, making an obvious 3 big dragons, Daisangen, then yeah, I might start. Do you know what? I'm going to see if I can stop this now.
Go. Yeah.
I don't have any dragons in my own hand. Let's see if I can stop this. But I don't know. I'd really be definitely. I mean, you've got those 2 Souths there, so you can easily fold this. I'd be moving cautiously towards Tempai, but I would not be forcing it unnecessarily.
And this is definitely a game. That's a type of game that I've been in many times, where every other player at the table has in their head for some reason that they have to rush, and so the game ends up being like 1,000-point sticks getting handed back and forth across the table at random until one person accidentally hits a Dora bomb and they win the game. And it's like, yeah, you can do that, but why not try to build some value for yourself and take some time?
So what's the first discard for?
Well, what would you be throwing out of this if you were the dealer?
If I'm throwing I throw the 9-pin just because
Yeah, you
I want to increase my acceptance of useful tiles. I don't want to lose the East or the White Dragon because I'm hoping that could be a Yaku,
oof.
a nice callable Yaku. The only loss from throwing the 9-pin is 9-pin itself.
I guess a nice situation if you get the 8 pin of having six,
Right.
seven, 7, 8, 9, but like meh.
See, I don't. I would. I'm not going to say the one man is an error. It's just by throwing the one man, you've lost the ability to use the one man, the 2 man, the 3 man. If you've thrown
Yeah,
the
yeah,
nine
yeah.
pin, you've only lost the ability to use the 9-pin. So
Yeah.
you've not made your hand as wide as it possibly could be.
And you've thrown the Sanshoku option out the window. I mean, I was eyeing one man two. I'm not gonna lie. I was eyeing one man two as like a really isolated tile with nothing going on. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you get the 8-pin, you've already got pair of eight bamboos there.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I
So
don't know.
6, 7, 8.
I think a straight is pushing it here. You don't.
It's a little
Yeah.
far. Herbert
I,
Dietrich
I do
stress
want
starts
to,
in
I
the
do
one.
want to see a 4-pin, especially as you're trying to build a straight in the suit of the Dora. So other people are going to be holding those tiles, and they're not going to be throwing them to you. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's my feeling.
9 pin is fine. Yeah, even though it goes, but yeah, technically, yeah, 9 pin technically does set you back in Shanten number, but it's fine because we need to
Mm.
do something. It's gonna hold it. But Dietrich stress starts in the It's interesting because I feel like my trust level towards single honor tiles when I started playing was very low, and then as I got to like mid level became very high, and then when I started playing against like very high level people went back to very low again. Because those are the kind of tricky weights that they would like deliberately go for to sneak something out of you.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, Cheryl points out that if you do get the 8-pin, but if you get the 5-pin, sad times. I don't know. I just want to hold the one man just to see. I mean, yeah, maybe if I
yeah,
get the
the
three
1, 2, 3
man,
Sanshoku option is like I
and
wouldn't want
and
to
I
throw
could
it away right out of the gate.
no, I just feel the 9-pins just.
All right, so here we have a 5 man. Probably can just chuck a dead honor at this point and see what happens with it. Like throw north, throw west.
Yeah,
They
you got a
throw
lot
west
there.
because they don't care. All right. Oi. West draws a chun, and now what are they gonna do? How do they feel about the? I guess 1 pin is a fine throw because it really doesn't change anything.
Their life is just the worst, though. I feel
Yeah,
bad
and they
for
throw the
them.
9 pin, which is isolated, which technically does lower. If we're looking at it through the lens of acceptance, that lowers their acceptance. But like
Yeah, the 1-pin would be the more sort of standard choice because
7
again,
unique
back
turtles
to
on the
the
disc.
back to the if you throw the 9-pin, you lose the 8 and the 7-pin. But if you throw the 1-pin, again, you're only losing the opportunity to use the 1-pin because you got the 4-pin.
Yeah, Dave has made big mistakes. Dave's far Kokuchis have been incredibly dumb exercises that somehow paid off. Oh, nice. So North draws a 2-pin. So North's 2-pin is going to let them do something with a 3-pin. They now have a nice set around it. They're alive with that. So now
Mm.
they have a pretty good hand, and their question becomes probably the 1 man is the best thing for them to throw out right now. Well, hold on.
I know.
1, 2, 3 Sanchoku has appeared in the air. Also, some weird Shanta Junchan vibe going on here, actually.
I'd be almost tempted to throw the 8-pin because I'd want to see if I could squeeze a lot of value out of this.
It would be an interesting play. I'd almost be tempted to throw the 5 just because I love dumb, bold first discards like that make everyone
I think
think, what
that's
are you
too
doing?
bold. I think
It
that
is
I
really
think the
bold. You don't want to
8-pin.
throw out the Itsu option either.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do
'Cause
chunky, you don't need 2 8s.
No, I could have my pairs on the one bamboo. Of
Yeah.
course, if I do suddenly get a straight, I'm going to be very sad that I threw the 8-pin. But I think
you might get, okay.
I think I can get another pair somewhere else. I'm throwing the 8-pin.
No, they throw the 1 man. They chuck again. It's an isolated tile. I see what's going on there. The 1 man goes away. The dealer gets another 2 so. Oh. So now what? Now what for the dealer? I guess 9-pin is still a good
I still want to throw the 9-pin,
still
yeah.
think the 9-pin.
Because now you could start thinking about a 7 pairs.
5 man, yeah. Throw 5 man, keep 5 so leave. 5 man would be another. 5 man is like my classic bold. It's Chanta time discard that everyone knows what I'm doing as soon as I do my first 5 man discard. But it's like it's got to go. It's aggressive. It's maybe valid if you're going that way, but it's aggressive.
I think it's very aggressive as North and East one.
Northeast. I got all the time in the world to figure out what you guys are doing before I become dealer. So dealer throws
I love
Haku.
starting in North. Oh my god, it's the best feat every time.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's really
yes.
nice. You have so much time. So much
I
time
can
to figure out
chill,
what
I
the heck
can
is
relax.
happening.
Yeah, oh god, I hate being the first dealer because people are just being mental, and you're just like, no, not on my dealership.
Yeah, you're like, please, please, can I just be like? So this dealer throws a Haku. I guess they're looking at more pairs. Maybe that's cool. Dora comes
Yeah.
to our south player, which is ugly because they don't have an easy place for it, but it's good. So they're probably, I'm betting they're going to throw the north and just see what keeps happening, which they do. So they're going to keep thinking about what they're doing here. West gets a 6-pin, which is also just not so pleasant. I'm hoping the 1-pin comes out because, come on, like, now's the time to get rid of it.
Their life really sucks. I shouldn't laugh at them, but it really sucks.
Oh my god! All right, so we have a proto 9 gates for north. They draw another 9. So
8-pin.
you think 8-pin flatten 8? Yes. Okay, so they flatten 8-pin. They're like, all right, let's see what happens here. Dealer gets a 5. All right. So now what? They might throw the east, just saying I'm done with Yakuhara and I think I'm going to make something here. It's going to be Tanya.
Don't throw the east. If you're the dealer, don't throw the east. That's two
I think I
hand
wouldn't
for you.
throw the east.
It's
too
two
much.
hand
It's too
and
much.
a Yaku. Yeah.
I could see throwing the 1 so if they're really going to think it's Tanya time. I could see throwing the 9-pin, but maybe not because now 5, 6, 7 is complete in 7, 9. 7-man, yeah, 7-man, maybe. Like I don't want to throw it because it's abandoning the suit entirely, but maybe. No,
I'm
they
with
throw the
Kaya.
east.
7-man,
They throw the
7-man.
east. I agree though. 7-man is man. This is, by the way, Mercedes. This is a very old Armel game. I'm not going to identify the people in it. I don't necessarily have their permission to identify them.
Sorry, that ugly face I made was the east throw. I don't like that east throw. All your questions are very good. The east throw, don't like that.
I know some of the people in this game who are. I know this is a game of smart and cool people. But
I said, I'm ready. I should just take what I said before about 20 minutes ago. I should think what's driving them.
It looks like this is getting pared down to like Pinfu or maybe Tanyao.
Pinfu? How can you make a Pinfu out of this? You don't have one single two-sided way.
It's called skill. You just draw the right tiles.
I feel like they must hate Han and Yaku because that's what that East potentially represents to you.
I think that's something people say all the time. Do you not like points? Like, do you hate points?
Well,
this game's about points.
Well, if you watch me play, you'd think that I hate points. Yeah, because I do try to give
points,
them to everyone else.
You love everyone else. Yeah, you're giving them. You want to share the joy.
Oh, that's
of
true.
Points.
I'm a very generous gift giver.
Yeah, I think Flan's right. I think because they threw Haku, I think the thing they're doing in their head is I am cutting the honors. That is what they're doing, and they're seeing what comes into their hand, and that's kind of and for a long time in my game, that's what I did when I started the hand. I didn't see much material. It's like, okay, I'll cut the honors and see what comes in. Maybe I'll get better tiles in that'll make the body of my hand better.
Yeah, and I think that's the strategy. And I teach that strategy myself. I teach it like dinner placements, right? You go from outside in. If you're not sure what to do, just outside in. Because we often prioritize just keep the game going to our beginners, right? Just keep going. Don't worry too much. Just keep going.
That's an interesting attitude.
But we have to at some point transition them from those honors. They're actually a reason for them in the game, and perhaps playing MCR or British Mahjong or another rule type lets you learn to treasure those honors a little bit more than Ricci, like starting out in Ricci does.
Interesting. I love honor tiles. Honor tiles are my best friends. Some of my best friends are honor tiles. So South gets another 6. We got a pair of 6s. What's annoying is like the door is a little bit of the odd tile out here, but you're not throwing it.
I'd almost be tempted to throw the 9-pins.
Maybe now that I have 2 extra pairs laying around, maybe. Let's see what they do. They throw the 3, which was also kind of sticking in my mind a little bit, because now you have a 6 for 4, 5, I guess. You really only lose value of the 2 and the 1. Meh. All right.
That's fine.
Oh, nice. So West gets a lucky draw. They get the 5-pin, so they have a 4, 5, 6 done. Probably they should throw the East, now that East is basically dead to them, and they want to find out what comes into their hand. And they do. Yeah, East is dead, might as well see what's happening. Cool. North gets a 9-man, which I'm going to assume they just immediately throw because it's useless to them. Oh, our dealer. It is. I'm sorry. You're right. I should be calling these dealer. Another skill draw for the dealer is the third 2-so. And at this point, you're probably going to throw the 1-so. I'm imagining.
Yeah.
And just shift that over. Yeah. So now we have some life here.
You can't call it. It's going to be a nasty wait. You could end up waiting on the Dora.
Yeah, it could be.
Don't
real
like
gross
that.
If you try calling it. Your love of honor trials is a symptom of my I'm tired of being shamed in my own stream for this. You don't have the right. I go to work every day. I get everything done. If I like Chanta, that's my problem. For me.
There needs to be a word for chanter addiction, like he's a functioning chanter addict.
Not a problem. Yeah, I'm a functioning Chanta addict. So they keep the 5 and they throw the 6. This is interesting. Are we thinking Chitoy? Because I
Yeah,
see
I think.
5 pairs, so we're thinking Chitoy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you should do. You should do. Yeah, and that's the only sad thing here, throwing those honors early, is that you could have had a better weight. But I don't see that this player could have done anything else at this
No,
point.
that made sense. They saw what happened. They got Chitoy. They're going Chitoy. Oh, nice. Okay, another nice draw. Another skillful draw for West is a 6, which gives them another set. So I'm going to bet they throw the Haku, because the Haku's come out already. No, they just go straight for the Chun.
Yeah. They're holding the Haku, then it's safe to the dealer, which is smart.
That's true. Oh, they have those Norths. The Norths are safe. They throw the Chun. A skill. Everyone's getting skill draws here. Everyone's high skill. You could be chasing Kokushi every game with 27. I mean, eventually you'll get it. I should know. But it might not be wise. But here, West player, this 5-man is looking mighty tenuous right now. Because there's
I'm quite distressed for West here. I don't know. Yeah, you have to throw the 5-man.
I think the 5-man is the right answer because there's no other option. Yeah, they do. They agree. They want all these incomplete sets.
You're gonna have some hard problems about the straight though.
Yeah. Well, you only need a 4 and a 6, and you're done. Hots comes to the dealer, who does not want it. 6-pin, another 6-pin. Oh no, Chitoy, you missed. Oh.
And this is why I hate Chitoy.
And then they have to throw it because it's not going to do anything for them. 7 so for West. Probably they can throw the Haku or maybe the South, depending on what they think. But they probably want to hold it, so they throw the South. And now South has the option to call it, and they do not. Good, they're holding for their Chitoy. North gets a 9-man, which they throw because they don't care. Dealer gets a North, which they throw because they don't care. South gets a 9-man, but there's 2 9-mans on the table, so they throw it too because it's not going to help them. An 8. So now another nifty incomplete set here for West. So West is probably going to throw the Haku to keep their hand alive. So now they're actually like, what is it, 2 Shanten? They're 2 Shanten, which is not bad.
2 Shanten at the 6th discard though, so.
Yeah, but
it's not fast.
They've gone from nothing to something.
I know, but it's not fast. It's not expensive. You should be prepared to fold that one at any opportunity, at any point where you're like, fold this one.
Seems a little safer. You are actually right in that if they decided that if they were wise, or if they decided, the Norths are almost definitely going to be your pair, so you might as well throw the 4 now and keep the 6-7 as a 2-sided weight. West throws East. 5-pin. So now this 5-pin is really interesting because they have a 5-7-9 structure. But maybe you throw the 9, although 2 6s are dead, so your chances of getting that 6 are basically none.
Just throw the 7-man.
Yeah, 7-man just leaves. Yeah, we're done with it. We're not thinking about it. It's over. The 9's dead anyway, so like 7-8 becomes a bad set. 6-7 is still good, but it happened. Oh no, a 4-man, and now there's a weird Ipeko opportunity for our 7 pairs person. What are they going to do? Do they want the 4-man? What do they do? They drop the 7 so and keep the 4-man. Okay.
I'd be tempted if you're really going to go. No, I don't know.
Oh, here's a 4-man pair for West. So maybe West here should drop the 7-man or start dropping the Norths if they want to keep the 4s as their pair. But the Norths are a great pair, so I'd almost just throw this back.
No, I'd throw the 7-man.
You want to flatten the 7? No, they decided they're ditching the North.
Oh, really? So you can throw the Norths later, right? Because people are going to be more ready later on,
yeah,
right?
That's what I was thinking, is dropping the 7. Like, true, you lose that 1 in a million chance of getting the third 7, but like, not 1 in a million, it's the 2 in 100 or so chance. Occasionally popping louder in the left. It's so weird. I don't know why. I hate audio setups. It's the worst.
2 years of pandemic, 3 years of pandemic, none of these problems are solved still.
Seriously.
How many years was the pandemic?
I need to take a day and like do all that. If you draw 4th piece, south pivot seems fine. Yeah, if you draw the 4-pin, then calling the south is not crazy. Because once you draw the 4-pin, you can call south to be tempo. So that at that point it becomes a good lunge. So they're either going to ditch the Norths. Yeah, probably ditch the 9-pins and then call the south. 8-man, drawn and discarded doesn't help. Hots drawn and discarded doesn't help. 9-man drawn and discarded doesn't help. 4-pin. Oof. I'd probably throw the 7-man here because on the off chance I get a Dora, I'd rather have the 3/4 set if I'm like insuring against something.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting yourself into a position here where you can't fold.
Yeah.
And I don't like it because there's no value here.
Yeah. Oh, they swappy doppy the 4-pin. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to say don't do that. As a rule, don't swappy doppy. Like,
Oh, North.
people think it's smart, but you're just telling people that you had a 4-pin in your hand before.
North. North draws the 4-so.
Ooh.
Oh,
I
true.
really
Yeah,
regret
It's a
the
quick
8-pin. I think you've got to throw the 8-pin now, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think you break down that 7/8 because of all the sets you've got. It's
Mm.
no, they throw the 1-so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. So to flatten it. Okay, I probably wouldn't have done that because having the 1-so as a pair I think is important. Yeah, true end potential is important.
I don't think the true end's coming, but yeah.
He's been doing this for months.
I feel like there's more going on there. There's a lot of synergy between those tiles. The 7/8. Yeah.
I'm gonna try moving this a little bit like this. I don't know what's going on with the sound
So
processing.
Flan says they drop the 9 bamboo and keep the pin through door one Ishanten, so one away with options.
I see. Yeah, because then the 1/1 can still be the pair. You can get a 1/4/7 weight. Like that actually ends up being pretty good. I'm gonna try just like being further.
I don't know.
Back.
I just feel like there's potentially a huge amount of value, and I'd be much happier shooting for it when I'm the North and failing, and then be like, oh well, there's the deal.
Yeah, like I had plenty of time. I didn't waste my deal.
I was just waiting to see if I could get a huge hand. I'd want to see if I could get a huge hand.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's see. 3-man comes and goes from the dealer because it doesn't help. Oh no, a 6-man for our South player, which like brings you back to this. You could do Pinfu thing, but do they? They do not
you can't
succumb to the
temptation. Those South tiles.
Yeah, you'd really have to muck it out. So they don't do it. They ditch the 6-man. It didn't happen. West comes and goes from West. 6-man comes and goes from North. Haku comes and goes from dealer. 5-so comes and goes from South. Everyone's just not getting. Oh, here's the Dora. Here's 3. But that's fine because West can integrate the Dora by throwing the 6 and having 3, 4, 5 instead of 4, 5, 6, which they do. Sure, smart. So they don't ditch their safe tile for it. So they're holding on to at least this one safe tile, which shows awareness on their part. Chun comes and goes. 4-so comes and goes. All right. And East is committed to this 2-2-2-8-8 shape. 4-pin.
I mean, just back to what the North player's doing. If they'd thrown the 8-pin, keeping that red dragon would have been interesting because none have come out since West threw it.
You gotta be worried
potentially more in the wall. Well, there could be more in the wall. You couldn't give yourself a half flush.
That's true. If you pushed further, you can get to flush. Yeah, you can get E2 flush, which would be great.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I would have thrown the 8-pin and then the 7-pin and then.
Well, you know what else I just realized? What I've just realized is 3 6s are out, so that 7/8's even less valuable. Like so much of it was dead at the point. Although the third 6 just came out, but at the point at which they made that decision, there were still 2 dead 6s. So it's kind of like maybe this isn't going to happen.
Well, to be fair, if you've got a 7/8 weight, you're counting on the 9 coming out. You're not usually counting on the 6 coming out, especially as the 6 is Suji on the door.
In terms of live valuable discards, like the 6-man has come out. I don't know. I think at this point it is pretty obvious that no one's waiting. Although the dealer looks like they might be waiting.
The only person who's really done something that would make me raise an eyebrow so far is West, because they've thrown the 4-pin and then they've thrown the 6-pin. So I would assume that they would have a Dora in their hand from those discards. They have a Dora or they're close to Tempai. So they're not that close to Tempai, but they do have a Dora.
They might, yeah. So South at this point has that 3, 4, 5. So here we have that situation being discussed earlier. So do they bail with? Do they change what they're doing, or do they stick with the Cheetoy?
I'd prefer the 9-pin. I think. This is now where I'm starting to think I need to reverse. Like there's nothing here.
Something has to happen. So they do actually. They shift gears. They throw the 9-pin. It's a little sad because they already got that 6-man in now, but it's fine.
But I
Um,
mean, remember, if you get the south, you are Tempai.
so interesting. This is West now, draws a West, and decides that now it's time to flatten with the 7-man. And I think they're worried
Mm,
that this Tsumogiri 9-pin shows some kind of I finally got what I needed.
yeah.
So they're going to get rid of a dangerous tile now, hope they don't instantly lose, and think, okay, well, I'm going to hold another safe for later. Here's the 1 and the 1, 2, 3. And now we trim the 9. I guess the hope is to use a 7 or 8, but they already threw an 8. They had the 8s
Yeah.
as a pair, and now they're
If that's
regretting
your
it.
plan,
It's
if that's your
exactly
plan,
what you
throw the
said.
8-pin. Throw
It's
the 8-pin.
exactly what you said, Gemma. You called it at the very beginning. You're like, I'm going to regret it if I get Itsu.
Yeah, but you've got it now. Throw the 8-pin.
No, they threw the 9, so.
I know, but they would have had more opportunities to get their pair back
Oh, yeah,
if they'd have kept the 9 bamboo.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Dealer gets a 5 and now throws a 9-pin because I think Dealer also feels a little nervous about what's happened. 2 players who've just been chucking things have thrown tiles from in their hand. And the 9-pin's not something they need anymore, really, anyway. Here's an 8.
Well, they don't need that 5 bamboo, especially with that 4 bamboo.
No, but they probably don't want to just huck it out there.
Mm.
8-pin comes and goes. A 7 comes and goes. Oh, they would have hit their 3-7 situation. Awesome. Everyone's having an awesome time playing Mahjong. Here's the 3, which gets this player Tempai. For the record, this is not necessarily a B3 game at all. This is just a very, very old game. I would call the players in this game almost definitely fairly experienced.
So if you'd have kept the 9 bamboo, you would now be Tempai.
Yeah. Well, you are now Tempai.
Okay, but you'd be better Tempai.
Would you? If you throw in the 8.
If you'd be waiting on the 6 or the 9 bamboo.
Yeah. Because now you can throw. You'd have to basically reach.
Now you're waiting on the 7
on the
pin.
8 and wait on the 7-pin. I don't know if they'll do it.
No, I hope they don't.
They do not. They swappy doppy the 3.
You'd be able to have you wouldn't have to reach. And you'd have Pinfu and Dora.
This is ugly now because now that they've thrown the 3, they're fruity 10 if they get the 7 or the 8. So now they're stuck.
Yeah, I feel like
Dealer gets and throws
there
south.
was enough dreaming here.
South player calls the south and throws a 9-pin. So South player's now ready on the 4-man. They did exactly what... Everyone's so smart. They did exactly what was discussed. They were like, all right, I'm going to change course. It's not Chitoy anymore. We're going to make something happen. I'm going to get to the point. Call the South. Tempai on the 4-man. It's South Dora 1, which is like a 2,000-point hand, but this is kind of a shutdown hand. And it's late enough in the game. They're like, all right, let's just see if I can shut this down, because I don't think anyone else has gotten anywhere.
The only problem here is that they can't fold now.
Yeah.
Like they must be confident that player opposite, you have to assume is Tempai.
Yeah. So West gets their 8. So now West is going to throw the West and be Ishan 10. 2-man comes and goes from North. East comes and goes from our dealer. 5-man would let South shift their weight to 3-man 6-so, which would be an interesting thing. What do we think about that? 4 tiles. No 3-mans have come out. No, I'm sorry. It is still 3 tiles. 1 3-man has come out. So it's a 3-tile weight versus a 3-tile weight.
You could throw the 3-man and wait on the 2 and the 5. The 2 has just recently come out from the North player,
which is a 4-tile weight. No, it's not. It's still a 3-tile weight because 5 and 1 2 are
It's 2, 5, and 6. Sorry. If you throw the 3-man, you're waiting on 2, 5, and 6. Sorry, Mahjong Index. Exactly. Thank you.
Wait, yes, what?
You throw the 3-man, and then you're waiting on the 2-man.
Oh, you're right, because or the 6. That's actually that's the pro move here. I think that's the best weight. Let's see if they do it. They don't. They just throw the 5 and stick with the 4 weight.
Do you reckon they're worried about the 3-man? I don't see why. It's safe on the dealer.
I don't see why either.
It's Suji on North player. West isn't making any moves that would make me frightened, so.
So now this is West's time to shine, though. This is West's time to reach, I think. If you're gonna do it, you do it.
I wouldn't reach it.
You wouldn't reach it?
No, because I think people might not throw. I reckon people would throw a 9 bamboo into this without thinking.
They would or they wouldn't.
They would if you reach. They won't.
Oh, if you're saying if you Dama it's Pinfu Dora 1, Maybe Tanyao if you get very lucky.
Yeah.
Maybe Tsumo if you get very lucky.
Yeah.
Let's see what they do. They reach it. They go hard. All right,
Okay.
we're going hard. Shun comes and goes. The dealer gets the deadly 6 bamboo and decides to do what? If I was a dealer at this point in time, I'd be probably throwing this 1 pin.
No, 7 pin.
You think 7 pin?
Or you can see 4 6 pins.
Yes. The
You
reason
can
I'd be
see
throwing
two,
the 1
You
pin.
can see 2 8 pins. You can
You're
see
right.
2 9 pins.
And I can't
So
see
the
what
7
South is doing.
No, you can't see anything about really with the ones. The bottom level of that suit is not obvious. 7
And
pin
that's
is
the
the
problem.
safe
Because
choice.
you don't want to deal in. Maybe things are blocked in the form of the corner. Maybe. Yeah, there's a lot around the 4-man that it won't fit. But, well, I mean, we can see everything, so we can see the 4-man's element. The challenge here is, yeah, like, I want this 5-6. I can't throw the 6 now that there's a reach out on the table. They've discarded no so tiles all game. I can't throw any so tiles, probably. It's just not a good idea. So I'm stuck with these pin tiles. I was thinking the 1 because it's hard safe, and because in my mind what I need to do to move this hand forward is cut the 1-2. But you're right, like cutting the 1-2 is incredibly dangerous because the Dora's right there.
Yeah,
and so
I wouldn't.
anyone with Dora in their weight's going to have it.
Yeah, I'd throw the 7 pin. Yeah.
Oh no, they do what I do. They cut the 1. I see your wisdom though. I think you're smart. I think Gemma's opinion is the right one. Because even if you cut the 7, you can still draw the 3 pin into temp. Like, you haven't cut yourself off from winning. If you draw the 3 pin, you're still tempai on a 2-sided weight. You'll have to throw a 5, which is a little ugly. But
I mean, so for me, what I'd see here is I can throw the 7 pin, I can throw another 7 pin, and I can throw the 6 pin.
No, I'm entirely wrong. You're right, and I'm very wrong because this is dumb. All the 6 pins are done.
Yeah.
I'm never finishing another 5, 6, 7 ever.
No.
So now I might as well throw the 7 pin because
yeah. So you can throw the 7
5,
pin,
6, 7 is
buy
all I
yourself
got.
some more time, and you can cut down entirely. You can throw the 7 and the 6 as well.
Yeah.
That's 3 safe discards.
Yeah. Oh my god. A final 6-0 is drawn. So if they change their weight, South would have won with a sumo on that last 6. But they did not. And so now what do? They throw the 4 pin because it's hard safe on the reach and take themselves out of tempai. What do you think about that?
I think you have to, really, at this point. I don't know where you go from here, though, because this is where I think that the South, calling the South was not the right thing to do, because now, how do you fold this? How do you fold this now? If you'd have kept the 2 Souths, you'd be happy to fold it. Whereas, how do you fold this? You might draw another dangerous tile, and you've got nowhere to go. There are all of these tiles are super dangerous to West.
I might have thrown the 4-man.
No.
To hold. Oh no, but then I'm 30-10, so it doesn't matter. I threw the 5 already. No, I'm stuck. I have nothing. I can do nothing.
I wouldn't throw the 4-man. It's super dangerous as well. All of these tiles are dangerous. I think calling the South was, there's no value here. I think they kind of screwed themselves.
5-man isn't the worst choice. It leaves you on a 3-6. Well, no, 5-man is better. It leaves you 30-10.
I think
you don't want that.
it's not about the 30-10 anymore. It's just not safe. I mean, that 7-man there has been discarded. I mean, they could conceivably have had 6, 7, 7 and thrown the 7-man out.
Well, they did have 6, 7, 7 until that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, exactly, right? And that's why the 5 is super dangerous here.
Yeah, the 5, I don't think the 5 can be thrown. The 3, like, the problem is everything you do now makes you 30-10. There's no way to avoid it, which sucks. So they throw the 4 for hard safety and just hang out.
I think this is concerning for them.
2-man comes out. Here's a 2-pin. Oof. North folds or starts folding. Well, actually, North now has a more valid Ishan 10 if they're willing to throw the Dora into this. But North decides they're not going to deal in, so they just throw a 1-pin. Here's another 7 for the dealer. What do they do now? Maybe they throw the 6?
Yeah, throw the 6. Why not?
Okay, they do. Not bad. They can get Suanko. A quick Suanko to finish off their deal. Hots comes and
They're
goes.
a better player than me.
West comes and goes. Hots comes and goes. Haku comes and goes. 9-so comes and 5-man goes. That's a bold discard. Although with the 2 out, it's a little more safe. They're going to get away with it.
You can see. I don't know. Oh no, I wouldn't like that discard.
I don't like it. I don't like it either.
Because
But
you
what
say
should you
the
throw
two
here?
doesn't make it safe.
The
The
two
two
makes
doesn't
well
make it
the
safe.
two
No,
again. I
because
feel like you no. I didn't say it makes it safe. I said it makes
no,
it more safe.
it doesn't. No, not in this situation because of the 7-man discard. That 7-man discard means everything. Like if you're using Shoulder
Mm,
Suji, the 7-man discard is critical in
mm,
reading that discard pool.
I see. I see what you're saying. Like basically
So
what I'm saying
mm,
is like if you look at all the possible ways the five could be available to someone to win on,
mm.
the two does eliminate one of those
Right,
possible ways,
right,
which
okay.
is why
But
I say more safe. But I see what
let's say
you're
those
saying.
two 7-man there are a 2-3-man. Then I'm on board. Then they haven't got
Right.
they haven't cut a 3-3-4 shape down to a 3-4 shape. But those
So
7-man mean, and it's dropped late towards the reach. That 5 is dangerous.
yeah. So
Yeah, yeah.
What Jem is saying, I think, Lionel, is because I love saying I'm right. I am statistically right in the sense that yes, there are a bunch of different weights that you can use the 5-man in, and the 2-man coming out eliminates one of those weights. So in my mind, that's why I'm saying, oh, it is a little more safe. But what Jem is saying is, forgetting the statistics, that 7-man is a strong indicator that they have, or at least strong evidence that they might well have a 6-7 shape in their hand. That they
Yeah.
cut their 6-7-7 that they cut down to 6-7 by discarding that 7-man.
Yeah. So they either completed the group or they're waiting on that group. So you can't divine whether they completed it or whether they're waiting
Right.
on it.
But I'd almost
Unless
say
they
like
throw a 5-man.
the evidence
But
that exists in their hand weights at least equally against my they don't have a 3-4 waiting on 2 or 5 weight. Like it ends up
no,
being
no,
balanced with
yeah.
this is still a
But
very
then
dangerous tile.
but then this is why if the Shoulder Suji, the two and the 8 here, the Shoulder Suji for your 5. And
Mm,
also Shoulder Suji for 5s, because of their central position, are notoriously bad.
right.
Um, you're yeah. Um, it's just that's just not how Suji works.
Okay, so
Sorry.
they throw the
So
5
that's
and
why
they do get away with it.
we often teach people these 1, 4, 7, 2, 5, 8, 3, 6, 9. But then there's these back Suji, the Ura Suji, which the 7-man is here for the 5, and there's also the straddle Suji. And you have to sort of understand all of these points and take it in a holistic approach rather than that 2's a Suji for the 5, that makes the 5 slightly safe. That's not how that works. If you see the 5, the 2 and the 8 are more safe, but the
Right.
2 does not
Right.
make the 5 safe.
Well, again, I'm going to be Captain Statistics. The 2 does not make the 5 safe.
No,
The 2 does eliminate the possibility that the 2-5 weight is something they want. But the 2-5 weight is only one of many things they might want. So that does not, you have no guarantee of
so
safety for that.
so the 4 here would be a slightly safer decision. The
Mm,
reason being that you can see 3 3s, right? You
right.
can see 2 2s. So they probably don't have 2 3.
And
They
they
could
don't have 4. They can't have 4-7
they
because
could
they've thrown the 7.
they could, so then we have to look, do they have 5 6? Well, I can see 3 of those 5s. I can see 2 of those 6s.
Well, but they've also thrown a 7.
Right, and
Which
but
means
then that's when the Shoulder Suji becomes a more relevant piece of information. It's circumstantial evidence,
Mm,
but it becomes more relevant because you're going, okay, it's more difficult for them to just have these tiles, and there's a 7-man there, so I'm going to say that circumstantial evidence is relevant. I'm going to throw the 4-man.
mm,
Does
mm.
that make sense?
Yeah,
Do I make sense?
I would think the 4 would be the safer discard here. I wouldn't be throwing the 5 into this. And I just don't like 5s. I don't like throwing them. If I
I
throw
mean,
them,
if
I
you
throw them
really want to be
first.
super bold, considering the attitude
The
of the North
Dora.
and the East player by throwing those 1 pins after the reach, the 3 might be safe.
It's a little true. Like you can feel like I don't know they dropped 4-4-6P and then 7-man. The 7-man was more important to them. Yeah, like the 7-man was more important to them than a shape right near the Dora.
Mm-hmm.
And they still held it. They still held it. So it must have been part of some kind of potential shape that then resolved later. Fawn
Exactly,
is
Flan.
correct.
But yeah, I mean, if you
Um,
really wanted to be very, but I still think 4-man would be the more obvious kind of theory choice. But if
Three
you
pin
wanted
is
to
an
be bold,
interesting one.
3 pin is an interesting choice as well because it's Suji. They threw a 1 pin early,
Yeah.
and then these other 1 pins have come out. So we can probably disregard now North and East. They're out. We don't have to think
You
about
can
them
assume
anymore.
they're out because they threw that 1 pin.
Yeah. The
Eh,
only problem is with that is that they threw the 1 pin early, which means they probably had a way to lock that door in.
yeah.
Probably.
Don't know.
I still think the 4-man's safer, but I'd be interested by someone who might choose the 3-pin. That'd be a bold
3-man
move.
comes and goes from the reach. 1-man comes and goes from west or north. I'm sorry.
See, that 1-man
4-man.
is not a safe discard.
Yeah, like I'd be a little nervous about that 1-man just because.
Wait a minute, because you can see. Well, you can see 3 3s again.
Yeah, I can
So
see
you
3
just-
3s.
No,
I can
no,
see...
no. So you can't. Sorry, they can only see 2 3s, and they can
Oh,
only
yeah.
see 2 2s. Sorry, we're thinking about
South can see all 4 3s now.
Mm-hmm.
So South knows everything about 3s. But yeah, it's a little risky. They're probably just hedging. Okay, so now...
So now your 4-man is extra super safe because not only can you see 7-man in the Reachy player,
One
but
is
the
safe.
one
Yeah,
man
is
has
safe and
come out.
7 is safe. So actually, yeah, dealer could have thrown this 4-man and held their possibilities, but they instead decided to start with the 7-pin because I guess it's their last discard. They're not Tempai, so they don't care. They just want to deal something they feel confident is safe. So they deal the 7-pin. Why? Why? I guess 3 is safe,
But the 1 is super safe.
but it's not as safe as the 1.
I don't know. You know what? And I can see what's happened in their brain. They've gone like, I can see the 3-man. They've made the decision before it's
Yeah,
even
the
come around
3-man
to their
is
turn.
100%
So, yeah,
safe.
the cursor's like hovering over the 3-man.
Yeah, oh yeah, it probably doesn't matter. Discard. End of hand. No one Tempai, but player in reach. So they get more points than they probably would have gotten for winning it. This is another thing to note. Please note this. Winning this hand off of someone else, well, it would have been 4,000, so it would have been Reach Pinfu.
Do you want to fast forward to South 1, by the way? Because
we probably should.
We managed to drag these hand
we talk a lot about this
out
stuff.
for an hour.
But like, if they dominate this, they would have gotten less points than being Tempai. I think what someone is. This is a quote. This is not my statement. Like, K10 is a hand worth fighting for. It's a quote that I've heard kicked around, and if anyone knows where to attribute it,
so K10 is the
isn't it Asapin? Isn't
Tempai?
Asapin?
Maybe, but Keshi. So that's the shape of your Tempai, like that.
Yeah.
Even though you can't win, that's
It is Asapin. Okay, thank you for one. But yeah, like this is 3,000 points. This is actually a halfway decent. This is more points than you would have gotten if you rushed out a Tanyao hand or something crazy. So like, this is good. You did.
So Chirag, the reason, I mean, 3-man might have been better actually. I'm just thinking, 3-man might be right.
Oh, because it's hard safe on Dealer. Dealer's the only one to change this hand. Yeah, maybe it's fair. It's hard safe on both.
Yeah. We rewind it. We retract our bold statements and funny faces.
All right, let's go to South 1. Same dealer, new dealer. Who this? Very little has changed. Very few points have been exchanged.
Tight.
Everything's really close. So now, if I'm the dealer, I'm a little nervous. I need to make something happen. I'm doubly nervous because East is the Dora, and I'm East, and I really hope I get East. And this hand does not make me feel very confident because there's not a lot of raw material in it.
Cheeto Dora 2.
Cheeto Dora 2.
I want Toy Dora 3, people.
Toy East Dora 3.
Yeah, man.
That's
what we're talking about. Yeah.
Toy East Dora 3. Do you think you can do it? Do you think we should just call for it like a crazy?
Oh yeah, I'd totally do it.
Oh my god. No one has very exciting shapes, I don't think, looking at this. I guess North also has 7, 8, 9, 5, 6, pair of 3s, like, and a Dora. North has some stuff. Again, this is another one where, like, the dealer is bad and North has something.
Toy West Yakko. You only say that because you hate it when it happens to you.
It doesn't happen to you, though. It just happens. Someone at the table's like,
no. When another player, when another player just toy.
Yeah,
I think there's some like post-traumatic stress disorder going on here.
It's
not
it's
the
like
fault.
half flushed. People just decide at the beginning of the hand, it is toy time, and then like all they do is punch toy forever. Toy. People starting with 3. Yeah, this is a weird hand. So what's my first cut if I'm dealer? It might be. I don't want it to be South. You think South?
It's worth 2 Yaku to someone, 2 hand to someone. So South. Screw it.
It's Chun. It's Chun. They say Chun has to go.
Wow.
7-pin in for South, which is actually kind of good. I'd probably throw the 9-pin just because now I don't need it. And they do. Okay, they clean that up. 7-man. Ooh, great. West gets 7 man. So now I have 6, 7, 8, 9.
Really Toy is the name of the public toilets. You're right.
It is the name. I took a picture of them when I was in Germany. I was like, they obviously have strong opinions about this hand. What do we throw here? Maybe the 2-4 is good. Like all these shapes are pretty good, so maybe Haku. Maybe I just say I'm doing
I
this.
see here. I'm kind of thinking Chanta, man.
Ooh. If it's Chanta, then you got to throw the 6-man or the 4-pin.
I'd be thinking 4-pin.
4-pin? Let's see. 3-man. Okay, 3-man's the isolated man tile. Doesn't cut you out of Chanta, but 1-man comes and East. Wow, first discard from North is East the Dora. Obviously attempting to bury this and be done with it. Breaking my heart a little bit if I'm the dealer, because I'd love for that not to happen. Dealer gets a 3-pin and then maybe follows suit throwing East. I might just be like, yeah, it's not happening. I'm not going to waste my
No,
money on it.
south.
South?
Dream.
Yep, it is South.
Yeah, dream.
1-pin for South. Maybe that's good. Maybe I throw a 2-man. Maybe I throw the South myself because I say that's not happening. I throw Haku.
North plays with Chad.
Northware is. That's how we do it. Oh no! East comes to West, who just immediately hurls it on the table to make the dealer cry
Oh no,
even
but
more.
that's exactly what the West player should do.
Yeah.
That is the right.
Yeah,
that
dunk
is
it.
the
It's
right
been dunked
throw.
once. No one took it. Dunk it quick. No one's gonna take it because you're not getting it. 2-3. Okay, this is a good shape. So maybe 1-man or 1-so comes out here because we now.
I'd like, when I was going toy, I would like to say now for the dealer, now they should do cheat toy, waiting on that Dora because someone's going to hurl it back onto the table.
Vengeful. Okay, so now they throw South because South is also dead. 5-pin for the dealer. Oof.
Yeah, I don't know. Dealer's draws really suck.
Yeah.
9-pin.
9-pin? No, dealer gives up on their East Dream as well. East is just dead now. It's over. 5-pin for South gives them 5, 6, 7 complete, so they'll probably throw the South because their South Dream is also over, and they can hold more tiles. 5-so for West. These are all tiles that just like start new areas. Maybe Haku, but then you're kind of defenseless.
Oh, I don't like the 6, 7, 8, 9.
Trim it.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. They just throw the 5 back. They're like, F this. Maybe they are going hard Chanta. Hashtag hard Chanta. 7-pin finished up the 5, 6, 7 over here, so probably the 1-man or the 1-so. It's the 1-so. So we have a bunch of, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9, 2, 3. We have a pair. We're getting places. Dealer gets a 5. Ah, it sucks. Maybe 9-pin, maybe 1-so. Soft Tanya. Again, like edge tiles, probably. It is the 1-so. Here's 1-man lets them cut down to 1, 2, 3, which I'm imagining they will. So you have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, a pair, and then 2 pairs. So West and 9-man might end up being their weight if they get a little lucky. 3-man. Do we keep it and go back to hard? Are we hashtag hard Chanta? Are we going to throw the 6-man out and keep the 3-man? No. Come on. Come on, buddy. Come on. Here's a 3-so. So the 1-man's going to come out. Because we're really just waiting for... Here's an 8-so, which just goes. Dealer doesn't need it. Ooh, 4-man. This gives us some interesting options. Maybe we throw the 1-man to creep it over. Because I like that this 4-so lets it... Oh no, we're throwing the West. Interesting. I guess we're saying the 9s are going to be the pair and we want to try for Pinfu now. Okay. Here's a 6. I held that 5. That 6 would be pretty cool, West.
Imagine ever drawing well white dealer. I know, it's a dream I've had.
Ever drawing? Yeah, seriously. Here's the 4, and that's interesting because that means they could make the 3 pins their pair if they want to. I might throw the 3-so here to keep the options open, and they do. Okay. So they have a few options.
Says that people say, I tossed this before, so I must toss it again. I know.
Yeah,
I'm not saying the 3-miner's mistake, but yeah. Like, sometimes Marshall gives you a chance to do a redo. Like, take the redo.
Yeah, it's tough because I do tell people usually when you do something, when you make a decision, you should probably commit to it. Because if you're wishy-washy with your hand the whole time, you're going to get in trouble. But it's true, like, this was an option to get back in the Chanta game, and probably they should have taken it. I would have taken it. And yeah, you don't have to not, but it's like improv stuff. It's like, generally speaking, if I gave you a broad rule, I'd say don't double back. But once you know that rule, you'll recognize the times when actually maybe you should double back. And this might have been one of those times. Dealer gets and chucks a Haku. Chun comes and goes. Hots comes and goes. 8-man comes and goes. 6-pin. So this would lead me to want to throw away the 3-pin or the 9-pin. Yeah, I might be furry if I keep this now. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. What do you think? I think the 3-pin might come out. I think the 9-pin might come
Yeah,
out.
3 pin. I mean, yeah,
I'm going
their
with
hand just
9-pin.
sucks.
It looks
I
like
don't know
they're
what.
hoping to keep maybe gently walking. A soft Tanya was mentioned earlier, like gently walk
Yeah,
towards it.
soft Tanya. I mean, it sucks as dealer. There's not much you can do here.
Ooh. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is a throw the West and maybe Itsu happens sort of time.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't. You've already throw. I mean, you're already down the path. You already threw one West. You
Mm,
now have 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have your pair and your other set ready to go. Like,
mm.
this isn't bad. And maybe the other option is you throw the 1-man, and you hope you're going to throw the 1-pin and wind up with Pinfu Tanya. Oh, I'm sorry, the 9s are in here. You're not going to get Tanya Weapon.
No, you're not going to
So
Tanya.
no,
No, Tanya is.
maybe you throw the 1-man anyway because that lets you hold your reservations without throwing any safe tile. No, he throws the 1-pin. So we're keeping 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Bold, but all right. I see what they're doing there. They kind of are imagining this 4 is going to turn into something, and they're going to have this and that. And
They
that.
want a 3-sided weight. I mean,
Yeah,
why not?
yeah. Why not keep the option of a 3-sided weight? There's also Sanchoku option if they get the 2-pin, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. A 7
Maybe.
man. So now you have 6, 7, 7, 8, 9. Not bad if you're looking to win. Maybe throw out the Haku at this point. Maybe throw the 1-so at this point. Maybe throw the 9-pin at this point.
Yeah, yeah. The hack is safe, right? I'd like a safe tile on this. 2-pin.
It's 9-pin. I could go with 9-pin. I guess they're cutting down the 9-9. They don't need too many pairs.
Well, what if you get the 3 bamboo then?
Ooh. 2, 2, 3, 3. Now I love shapes like that because with one tile you get Pinfu Ipeko. So if you throw the 9-so,
Yeah.
might be the best option here. Okay, and they do.
Yeah.
They cut down. So now they have lots of ways to get Tenpai. Dealer gets a 4, which gives him 4, 5-man, which is pretty cool. Maybe the 3-pin comes out here. Maybe the 1-man starts to be cut down. Let's see what happens. It is a 1-man. Okay, we're cutting the 1-man.
I know, it's Tanya, because you can call it through then as well.
Yeah, yeah. 8 comes here, and 1-man is thrown out. So now they have 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 9. I'm not sure what they're doing exactly with that.
Well, no, because they get the 7, they've got a group there, and they'll find their pair somewhere else.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true. It's not a bad deal. Although they should have held the West.
Yeah, I feel like if that's your plan, throw the West now.
Oh, I was going to say they should have held the West to begin with, because then they'd have their pair lined up.
True, but I think you can find your. I'd throw the West probably here.
4,
you could get a 1 or 4. Yeah.
Probably now throw 1-so because
I don't know. You can't because you've committed to those 2-sos being your pair.
they throw the 4-so.
Yeah, the 2-sos committed as your pair.
Here it is.
That's why I didn't like the 9-pin.
Here's the 1-pin that gets them Tenpai. Do they dama it or do they reach it?
No, just reach it.
They're in 3rd place, but they're close. It's probably worth reaching, so they reach it. Reach Pinfu, maybe Ipeko. 1-pin comes into the deal. Oh, the deadly 1-pin comes into the dealer's hand. But they throw the 1-man because they're not crazy.
I know, but I bet you it's going to seduce them later.
So the 6-man comes in and they throw the 8-man.
Safe.
Is it? Yeah, it is. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
It's hard safe. Yeah, it's hard safe. 6-pin shows up. 1-so is hard safe, and they wanted to get rid of it anyway, so that comes out. 7-man comes and goes. 1-so comes and goes because it's hard safe. Here's a 2-so for this player. Maybe they throw their West. They throw their West because it's safe-ish, safe enough. Although only 1 has come out and it's this late. That's actually a little bit risky at this point.
Yeah, but they're not the West player, so
yeah, so it's probably a cheap hand. So let's just do it. 4-so comes out and they throw 7-man because it's hard safe. 9-man comes and goes. Well, that gives West a safe discard for next time. Oh no! Dealer drops the 1-pin. I think this was a not so great idea. You're still so far away. And you have these 2, 3-sos you could be throwing.
You could throw, all the 4-man if you wanted to.
Yeah, I mean the 3-sos I think do the least damage to your structures. But like you can't just huck these out. Oh no.
You could think. I mean, you could be thinking here 7. Oh, he's far, but 7 pairs if you had to.
Yeah, but it's so far. It's so far.
The 1-pin is that's a difficult
win.
to throw now.
Reach Pinfu Ipeko for 3,900. Even Nakasuji 6-so if you're in Superintendent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 3,900, you could just throw the 6-so and be okay with it. No, they deal it, unfortunately. 3,900 points from the dealer to this player, which puts them in first place and puts the dealer in third place, which is a big swap. A big
Should
swap.
we go to the last hand and see?
Yeah, let's look at last. So in all last, this player has climbed their way up. They are the last dealer. Still pretty close. Still a
It's
close
very
game.
close still, yeah.
So what is our current seat? I always favor our current seat. What do they have going on here? I mean, it's rough. They need 2 Han at least to get anywhere, to get into second place.
They are not good at drawing tiles, is what we've learned over the last hour and a bit.
How do you get 2 Han? With these tiles, that's rough. Because you could probably call Pinfu with this if you really went crazy, but I don't see.
You mean
call
Tanya?
I'm sorry, yeah, call Tanya with this. He's tired as butts. You can probably call Tanya with this if you went crazy, but our dealer doesn't have a very exciting hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unique terminals.
They can go. They can go fast because they can call the green dragon.
That's true. They can just speed this out.
And they. I presume this is if they're in the top, the game will end. So they should just end it.
Yeah. Our player right 2, 3. That's a pretty awesome starting hand for player right, actually. They've got a lot of good going on, and our player across has 5, 5. That's actually useful. Not very composable, but useful. So if I was our dealer, what would I throw?
West. Oh no, dealer. Sorry, I'm thinking about the south seat that we're sitting in. I would throw the.
Haku, maybe?
No, I throw the 8-pin.
Okay, it is Haku. Look, I'm so much better at predicting.
Right, but what if you get another Haku? Then we've already decided we're just going to go fat.
Just don't draw it. Oh. If this is tournament rules, 1K win only one. Yeah, that's true. If it's WRC rules, 1K win continues as dealer. It's good. You get points. Here's a second West. What do we throw? Maybe the 8-pin here. He's very isolated. We throw the Chun. We're very. I feel like the doctrine here is very honor discarding.
Ranked 1K is huge for you. I mean, it depends on what. I don't know what the win conditions are, but. Yeah.
This is WRC type rule, so the East will have to keep playing if East wins.
Well, but, I mean, I'd still want to just. It's just such an easy one to shut down.
Yeah. Chuns and Hakus are getting thrown. This 6 is a great draw for the player across, though. Gives him a lot of flexibility. On 50-50 on 8-pin versus Dragon. It's true. The 9 is good. They throw the 2 man. I don't like that because, again, I keep looking at 1, 2, 3 Sanshoku as like a possibility here.
And 2 man is adjacent to the Dora.
Yes. So if they get a Dora now, they're stuck with no power.
I can almost guarantee you they're thinking, "Oh, I'm going to get a flush."
Maybe. Here's a 1 so. We got 1, 2, 3. We flatten it out. Double click by accident. Yeah. Silly nose. 8 for 8, 9. What do we do here? I feel like we need to start deciding what our final shapes are going to be in this hand. We have 2, 3. We have probably want to keep 6, 8, 8. So probably the 9 man can go. That's my guess.
Yeah.
The 9 man goes. Okay, cool.
I concur.
A 1 man comes and goes. A 1 man would have been, look at your Sanshoku now. Look at your 1, 2, 3 Sanshoku that you can't make now. Because it's got to go. Which would have been what? It would have been, it would end up being like Hat's Sanshoku, guaranteed Dora 1 if it's 1, 2, 3 Sanshoku, potentially
and maybe
Chanta. Yeah, that could have been a dealer Mangan right there that you could have had if you'd thrown something else.
See, I think they weren't thinking, they were just on autopilot. They were like, throw the honors away. I think
there's a strong doctrine of like, just get rid of your extra honors first that people are kind of playing by. Here's another 8 so. It's interesting. 8-pin comes out of here because it's an odd tile out. 9-pin comes and goes.
I think I wouldn't throw the 8-pin because I'd be tempted by the other type of Sanshoku.
Sanshoku Doko?
Yeah.
That is always tempting to me. And also, if you're tempted for Toy Toy, though. Oh, they threw the 3 so, which would have helped them with Toy Toy. So maybe they're not thinking it's Toy Toy.
I don't know. Maybe it's wrong, but I'd probably throw the 9 man.
I see what you're doing. It makes sense.
Just want to see. If I got another 8-pin, I'd be super sad.
1 pin drives south out of the hand of player across. Three, so let's 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Not bad. They might throw the east. Hopefully, they throw the 8-pin at last, or maybe the 7-man. I'm gonna say 8-pin or 7-man is what they're gonna chuck here. Finally, it's the 8-pin. All right, 8-pin leaves, and again, they're kind of sliding towards that flush.
Mhm. I mean, they're not wrong to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, yeah.
I just feel like
3-pin,
having that 1-2 man in your hand would have given you
and
more
we cut the
options.
9. We do now have 4 pairs, which makes Toy Toy like a maybe option, but it's a bit of a stretch, I still think. 3-man drives the 6-man out. 5-pin drives the 2-pin out. So keeping 5, 7, 9 over 1, 2.
See, if I got that other 3-man because the door, I'd just throw the 2-man. I mean, you're not going to throw. If you get a 1, you're not.
It's just become a pair. It's not nothing else is going to happen here.
Exactly. And if you get the 7, then that's easy, and the 3-man becomes a pair. So I feel like that 6-man. No offense to who I was playing, is a bit of an error.
Yeah, yeah. And also, yeah, if you have the 3-mans as a pair, you might want to call 6, 7, 8 and just Tanyo the hell out of dodge, because it's Tanyo door 2 now.
Yeah, or if someone throws a door, you can call it.
You can pong it, yeah.
And then you'd have 8,000 points, and you would be second place.
Unless you want it off of someone.
Or if you want it off first, then you're first place.
Or even if you sumo it, actually. Sumo gets you into first place also.
But okay, if you win it off the 2 other people, you're second. But yeah.
Yeah.
I would definitely be throwing the 2-man. I think throwing the 6-man was.
Fair. So your 6-pin comes and goes. I'm sorry. So 5-pin comes in, and they decide, our player across decides to decompose 1, 2 to keep 5, 7, 9. So they throw the 2. 6-pin comes and immediately goes from player to our left, because I guess they are going hard on flush or chanta or something. Our dealer draws a 6-man, which is maybe cool. This is like a decision point for them. I think they're just going to throw it. I don't think they want it. No, they throw the 3. They flatten the 3-4 back. 3-3-4 back down into 3-4.
It's difficult. I mean, I don't think that's wrong.
It's like,
I don't know.
It's not wrong. I see they're keeping that as a 3-4 shape, and they're keeping 6-8-8 to maybe get a 7 in. It's just like, where are we going here? It looks like maybe Pinfu at this point, but it's like 2 inside draws to get to a decent Pinfu, which is rough. Oh, hey. Wait for Gemma to see that.
Yeah. Well, no, sorry. I saw it before, and I was just
sad for them.
Yeah, I was just quietly thinking to myself.
Yeah, this is what they needed. This would have gotten them to Ishan 10. Not the greatest Ishan 10 because you saw that 8-9 shape over.
I wonder if they are fixated on the idea of a 1-2-3 or 2-3-4 Sanshoku. Maybe Sanshoku.
But it instantly became not worth it as soon as they drew the second 3.
Yeah, the Pied Piper Sanshoku though, maybe.
So now they cut the 2. Maybe feeling sad about what's happened here. Question cutting 2P over Chun for North there. Maybe it's safe tile and terrifying problem. Yeah. You probably... It's tough because you don't want to drop any potential.
No.
Here's a 4 so now we have like 4, 5, 5, 5, 6, 7, 7. It's a gross shape, but maybe they drop the 1 pin because they finished cutting the 1 pin by dropping the 1 pin. See what happens. Here's a 4 pin. You can also drop the 1 pin here if you want, unless you're really going hard chanta. No. We're not going hard. We're not going hard chanta. We're willing to cut the 1. Ooh! Our dealer friend, however, sees the wisdom of holding the 6-man and gets 6, 7, 8, which they promptly cut down to become Ishan 10. I'm sorry, it's not our dealer. I'm sorry, this player is south. But our seat player, our friend, sees the wisdom. Oh my god. Third Dora for West. So now West has a giant pile of Dora.
Well, now they throw the 7-man and everything's fine for them.
Yeah, they can throw the 7-man and get it back into a decent shape. Their problem now is they really need a 7 so.
You need to throw the 2 bamboo though. I don't know why they're holding that.
Yeah, like, I mean maybe they're
hoping... you could correct, but if you draw the 6 or the 9, you can correct yourself back.
Yeah, this is a rough spot for them because they have that 9 in there. They need something. They need like a 3 or 6 bamboo to get out of Crapsville. Okay, so Haku shows up and player across drops the 9 pin. I guess they're thinking Tanya's really their only way out. Yeah, Doras mean nothing if they can't. It's true. And that's the problem now. Our player to our right has all these Dora, but they can't. So they're going to have a hard time dragging that over the finish line. Player across seems to be looking towards Tanya. And throws their 9 pin. Oh, here's the 7. The 7 comes to this player who maybe is going to throw the 7-man and be like, my flush ambitions are becoming even more real. Which they do, and they're probably also salivating over a potential Itsu. So their plans are going well. We get a 1 pin that we just don't need. Here's an 8 pin that they just don't need. Here's a 1 so that I think they just don't need. And this gives this flush player...
Wait. Oh, God. They could have had that 8, but they could have considered maybe putting it into a straight there.
Which?
Don't know.
Oh,
no,
this
this 3-1 pin down now.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, fair
I don't
enough,
think so. This is where our dealer gets the option to maybe call tiles. Maybe. It's a bit of a stretch, but on the other hand, they're the dealer. They're in first place. They might want to bully a little bit.
I would call that 1 bamboo, yeah.
Do they? Oh. Okay. They pong it, and they discard the 4 pin.
Oh, sorry, was there any other option but pong?
Chi.
No.
If you chi the 1, 2, 3, you keep your Itsu option open.
No, you don't need an Itsu here. You're doing fine. You just pawn it.
I want an Itsu.
Yeah.
Here's the second 6 so. And now this player is probably looking at the dealer and thinking like, oh, it's a flush. Yeah. So I can't really deal anything. So maybe the answer is they break down the 3-4 and still leave themselves Ishan 10. No, they just huck an 8. Wow, that is a bold play after the dealer opens their hand to call a pung of 1s. Because that pung of 1s is a very clear indication of either like I've got honor tiles in my hand or it's a flush. Because like what the heck else is it going to be?
Yeah.
So that is a bold move that they take and get away with. I think I opened if 2-4 was like 3-4. Yeah, the 2-4 is a little sad, but with 1 call, they can get away with it. North comes and goes. A 3-man, the Dora, so probably the 6-man is what's going to come out here, even if that's a little bit of a dangerous throw. Or maybe a Haku or a Chun, actually. Maybe another Haku. Nope, they shift the pair now. Get away with it. 4-man comes and goes. 5-man. Oh, now they have 5, 6, 7, 8. Do we just throw the other 8? Maybe we throw the other 8 now. If I got away with it once and the dealer didn't change their hand, I'd do it now, just to be done with it. If I'm considering those to be tiles I'm done with. And they do. Okay, yeah, they're done with it. All right. So now they have 5, 6, 7, 8 and through the other 8. Here's a 6-pin, which is going to replace the 2. This is rough, but the 2-so isn't doing you any good, so fine, the 2-so goes away. Which is also a rough discard, given what the dealer's been doing. 2-man completes 2, 3, 4, and now it's time to get the Haku out, and they're almost in Tanyao paradise here. Dealer gets an 8-pin and throws. Yeah, it wants to look like their hand's moving, but they don't actually progress. 9-pin comes and goes. Oh, the 7. So now they have their Tenpai. They could reach this and wait on the 7-so and, like, hope.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, it's reach and wait on the 7-so and hope. This hand becomes reach door 3 and maybe a flip, maybe a sumo. So, yeah, 2 players have for 1 clear time, so another with no so. Yeah, it's definitely time to not discard so tiles. No one has put them out. Call and deal.
Called the, yeah.
So now we're waiting on the 5 and 7-so. Yeah. So now they're both on the same weight. Dealer has got to be a little nervous now, but throws the 8-pin because they are now in Flush Town almost entirely. But that East is terrifying. None have come out.
Yeah, but it's not a value tile to anyone.
No. Okay, our player has decided it's folding time, so they fold with a West, which is also a little dangerous because West has not actually come out.
And West just reached.
Yeah, like West just reached, but they do get it, and West now throws the West. So now we know for sure the West is good. 2-pin comes, like South is effectively in reach. Other West comes out. But now we're actually Ishan 10 for our player as well. Hots comes out. Dealer calls Hots. Throws the 4 to now wait on exclusively the East. This is interesting because with a player in reach, the odds are much better. Or someone already has 3 in their hand and you've gotten yourself on a dead weight. That's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
Another West for our player to go and throw. Yeah, it's a risky throw as well, especially because that 2-so was the last thing they threw before the reach. Which implies, again, they could have had a 2-2-3 shape that they just cut down to get into reach. I'm using Gemma logic.
Gemma loves it.
5 pin comes and goes. North comes and goes. Everyone is effectively in reach now.
I'm really not enjoying watching this.
This is just rough. Oh, and it's a sumo for our North player. And that ends up being Tanyao Dora, which is going to get them into first place because Tanyao Dora is 2,000. Oh, no, yeah, Tanyao Dora is 2,000, but it's 1,000 from the dealer. And the reach stick gives them the extra 1,000 they need to get on top. So they're going to be at 34-1, and the dealer will be at 34 even for second place. Whew.
That's the way to win a game, man.
Yeah.
Well done, C-San.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an epic. That was an epic or less.
That was pretty good. Yeah, and thus ends the game. Very close game. Very close game for everyone. I'm going to be honest. Like, a 29K third place does not make me sad. And honestly, a 22K fourth place, like, I don't like it being in fourth place, but that's not a shameful defeat in any way, shape, or form. Soft Tanya takes it again. It's true. Soft Tanya wins. I need to make hard Chanta and soft Tanya merch now.
I just worry that people will think it's sexual.
They might. That's what makes it funny. At least a little funny. Cool. All right. Well, we did it. We did our fast game review. I think it makes sense. It's funny. We talk a lot about this stuff. I always feel like we are just like plugging through it, but then when we look at the time, I'm like, oh crap, it actually was like a good half hour we spent on like this one.
I mean, I think we underestimate actually how much kind of decision making is going on in a hand. If you break it down and you actually discuss it, a lot is happening all the time.
Oh yeah, I agree. It's really interesting. Proving once again why Reach is even. We should all embrace our tiny. Oh no, Reach is good. We all love Reach. But
I'm a big fan of the Dama, so I'm not gonna.
Anyway, thank you all for joining us. It's about our time, and I have to run around the world and take care of a whole bunch of things. Welcome to 2023.
Yay! Thank you for joining us again.
Yeah, thank you for watching us. I'm really psyched because we have a lot of really cool things we're going to be doing in 2023, which are so on the cusp of being announced that I'm hoping that next week I'm going to be able to make more real announcements about these things. So expect a whole bunch of exciting plugs next week.
I've got an exciting announcement next week as well, probably.
Wait, do you?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to be like, oh, what is it? But it's an announcement for next week. It's an announcement. It's a meta announcement. Yes, USML will be meeting up tomorrow. We're going to be at the Uncommons at 10 a.m. because they just asked me to move back because I opened a little earlier.
I just want to say to Chirad, I love that. Chanta lives on the edge. Tanya lives a simple life.
Tanya lives a simple life. Chanta lives on the edge.
That's merch right there.
Yes. All right. I gotta write that down. But yes, we'll be having our meetup at the Uncommons tomorrow. Again, it's 10 a.m. I'm updating the meetup because they just called me today being like, oh, we opened earlier. Can you come a little earlier? But it's 10 a.m. to 10 to 1-ish whenever they get tired of having us there. So please come and join us if you're in town. If you're not in town, I cannot yet buy you airfare. But maybe someday in the future I can fly everyone in to visit us. But thank you as always for joining us. It's always a pleasure.
Dave's waiting for his Bitcoin investment to come through.
I have no Bitcoin. I have no Bitcoin investment, and Bitcoin is just imploding. We're not.
It's all an FTX now, isn't it?
Yeah. It's all FTX. It's all in FTX.
I'm so sorry if anyone's lost money. By the way, I am sorry for you.
I still just love that the whole thing happened because they were just like, yeah, I don't think you've got any money. Like, that's just it. Just someone just wrote up like, yeah, I actually just don't think they have any money.
Let me just check my checkbook. Oh, you're right. I don't have any money.
Yeah, oh, oops. I guess we just don't.
What is this world? It's just crazy. Anyway, I'll have an announcement next week, and
I will also probably announce
if you follow me on. Well, you'll get the announcement earlier if you follow me on social media. So
yes. All right. So thank you all for coming. See you next week. Happy New Year. Hope you have a great holiday. And we love you all. So see you all soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.